Joy B, Bonobio, EL, among others on 17th May 2025. All you need to do to be part of this amazing fanfare is your new Momo app. Yes, you heard me right. The Momo app. Download it now. Get a free pass to this event. Side attraction, DJs on rotation, board and TV games, kids zone, Momo giveaways, and so much more. Download the Momo app now and join the team at the Libya Cortes Astroturf in Medina from the 16th to 17th of May 2025, and just Momo it everywhere you go. Momo Fest, it is powered by Momo from MTN and proudly sponsored by MTN Business and IU Insurance. Abrason say a train come on. Atik Mohammed Ewaha. Atik, Executive Director, Mass Action for Sustainable Development Africa, MASDA. Professor Smart Sapon, Director, Institute of Research, Innovation and Development, Kumasi Technical University.
It's Joe made it.
Honorable Dixon Admaku Kisi, former MP Anya Soltium. And Penifo na mini omo aiding komo anopay ewo Kokrokoo dwumadie so. Yabaka see the ho asem. Committee no so a area Chief Justice asem no mama hye omadwuma ase. Yabaka ho asem. Anopay nso yada sorry ye. Eso owura bi so sign the asem no court Supreme Court to say there be kwan no a yade Chief Justice asem no fa so no. Enye ne kwan so no. And MPP moon sem and no see be home come on. Shannon so mama send come twetwe ayede ebe eye Ecobank. Ecobank ada Roman ebe twetwe come every day. People face different emergencies. Policy emergency, fire emergency, medical emergency, you name it. But many Ghanaians don't know their emergency numbers. Well. No be difficult to do. This is an easy one for you to remember. Star 770 hash. Star 770 hash. Yes, star 770 hash. Star 770 hash is the new Ecobank money emergency number. Star 770 hash gives you instant access to loans, funds transfer, utility payment, airtime, and data purchase. Even without the data, you just have to dial star 770 hash and you have access to your funds. So there's no need to panic when you find yourself in any money emergency. Ecobank will always come to your rescue. So keep this number star 770 hash. Star 770 hash. For solutions to your money emergencies. Remember, Ecobank, the Pan-African Bank. And Ecobank Sano Payment Kai was our number Biana, which you know here Sky idea. So we are Ecobank customer and Quadia Boss star 770 hash. Over star 770 hash and Nafi wedding share no so pepe. Star 770 hash. Not with them. Ecobank, a Pan-African Bank.
Mama brown and I'm so me mommy day. Me Jimmy Kado mama na mami fie. Abrana bombe na mi sumi boni pie. Nese sa me tough up plumpa me sorry. Ye me dinti na ya me ye die mi tumie. Akona me na me ya me tanga masem ye be tumi ya mi pene di. Pem time pem. E tough up do a messa sorry. Na busu ya didi ya me waka. Eni mere won papa no ke anko. Pem time.
Atik Mohammed Mache.
You so now.
Now what is it?
Could be better.
Anyway, kakra.
No meet us.
Ebe fa. Oh, one day, best or enough.
That's a miracle everybody's praying for.
Professor Smart Sapon.
The Cardinal.
Hey, is your babu me no pay ana?
Just a me no me pese me set record bia. Can you do it baby o ti bi o ti ana na ni ewu.
And your wow record na ubreki. What's that tear break? I think good news Professor Sapon say ofri Kumasi Bashua Obantempa.
Obantem.
But now Baba da cry.
Me dan cry ya.
O elite.
Hey.
It is a probu hono.
It's true.
You be probu. You be probu hono pa. Ano about the exam maguzi?
Yes, open.
Bache.
Yeah, yeah, kofa popi okobia na kana.
Me ko conclave.
Conclave. Cardinal papa.
I see.
Me ko ba man fama me.
Me entry list though, but
sir,
I say are they all different day man because
let me say you go 2 times. Omu say asem no ba fofra. Asem no ba fofra. College of Cardinals and you be can share.
Penny for this answer.
Go there check it 2 list no.
Okay.
O check it 2 na bo mi din o.
Into Kasok na ye Calabe.
Usual one no be use be no. Usual one. Then the Brabant.
Nia fansa go from ye monya fa popi de na fansa go from. Romance of for the ja. Money apehe de normal.
Sawo. Yameti asebe.
Yeah.
Na bia boko.
Oh Mompai Bonti as a nyama I fine Donald Trump ama Sidina Peja. Mompai boy there.
Trump wa
Oh, Trump I there.
Trump right.
Trump I there.
Mate.
I there.
E ba be di ho enkomo.
Many Japan.
Trump I'm curious.
You are curious
Or take Trump the interest across. But unim say
Trump and trade war.
The trade war na dollar na go.
Na me person me jump into it. Say you usually no be my prelims. But the person me call their media me call. Did the kind me and share with you for a baby I'm free her corner, not just me phone calls in the P and me to work piece and a piece. In fact, Mudweche my notorious for that. Inti me Boba Basso and Yamin Chad on this year that and Ketesiane pe utie.
I no pay one for so as you be benyasem.
Oh, Dabi. Dabi.
I no pay one for so one gaza sorry man pe.
Sorry. So for the beya sorry man and the inquiries test near keka ho. Yes, Taylor for nurse interested nam. A doctor for the nurse. Inti I saw for so ne omo quaristers ne omo nans enti cardinal
and MPs so ne hwan mo nam
no foot soldiers grassroots na ni nemo no I think say mekai NDC for mekai say ye ba ban mu in 2017 omo boy en kai say omo njuma pa omo ye no in 2016 e boa ma sidi no e ba fom nti we dia me no me mpese me kasa pi me dia me case ni say nanka ye ne ye ambassadors of gold ene sena e boa sidi no but say no credit in opposition no na omo the relation between gold reserves and a fachemio sidino sena holding ebe page but be name the jury say ama eneno the party ana omo opposition no monte asiese or reserve gold usika sem epeja eneno I think say to force and back kano kra wajia to mu say ukra gold as a country usikasem ekwenim ama se me assess John Dramani Mahama the first 120 days one of the major things a year focus nhyehyɛ ema omo boy omo lawyer Sami James omo got 2 gold ano so atimas into the correlation between oil for gold or improving or gold reserves any CD appreciation in there so say NDC for cry more ambassadorial efa edoho chain MPP inti menika me dey because fidie no eso mo nan no na esunu nko eja omo so say no omo nka kai omo say gold inti gold is kin when it comes to currency appreciation na face no credit surprisingly MPP abibia ka global enyama edito Ghana economy ho ayana nkofo bi ntiase but you cannot discount the fact say Donald Trump aso den kakrenti we asa fanen na dollar na hoden akofom you cannot discount it and no me hwe na ho brasie ewo UAE se no te omupenyi no enchen na Donald Trump ampa obo ohena baso ahombrasie mu na mse ye sika kasa $1.4 trillion and almost almost babeboa America na omo enjuma ayede akoso na se ye hwede a na che se no credit Ghana em se ye danfo famu with UAE na se ye hwede ye hwe because America almighty ekojimboa ewo hode aneze kra na si omutu ane de na esimu to say no ese dani yesu dani ani ehwe hobi instead of just America and no credit we cannot for once tariffs are America they buy ediomunya minim say China ne omo atenase biom omo reverse from almost 100 and something to 30 something until you say Trump a trip break na ebe affected dollar no strength biom uye no so free where assemblies no government is not spending and yen konoboko once ye confirm assembly heads no
MMDCs no
aban ebe start spended there in about a few weeks or so no almost started almost spend there then ubehun say truly see no because of government expenditure and also ebe bafom kakra nti these are some of the things may and payment to me aka but din no say see the bafom dollar no bafom na building materials bafom na in toes ni jene so eba forma ye na ya ho hen han enye ndisi ni MPP asem o mani na o ye froya obetwa en kama enra na Donald Trump o kan kusua ho nsem inti ye hwede a na je say consumer produce price indexes no ye hwe say ebe reflective of dollar drop no but good also enim omo challenges in even we have one ton in term ne one here o pesika ko tobi ochna ho becho nti meka ma traders no na omo hwe no mo hwe you know now omo sisi a chekaka prices ni bi o ha so we bonus same no or pagemu so then your price modeling na work chrome ha en sheda nkoyi yeto petrol mo pe there's no consistency in the increment of your prices. Inti Kwame Drew store na obi mani bufu penu apeja ne price mu. Neni jano dia bafam and sad no edi enya. And I'm hoping say the drop from baby I to about 13 no prices in the country are very reflective of sad changes no. Na face no ato forcing and bon homodena government account ye did no on tebi in tem so ti and anope kakra made to me akafa ho and no ti is a multifactorial nti yes boy because of we the NDC for the bomb is ankai and say they are buying that than the year, and also it has an impact. And this one there is very telling because Muhoni break said no, gold no dear. As a coin bias, so no, you reserve it more. So now you're holding ebe pager. Ti med manuesi afa ho say bibi for bad naija me de bi abeka ho.
Okay. Atik. Ule moi. Sidi no. Enye ne den.
Mincha etifo nyina na mincha minunu a omuso wa na mincha the Republic of Gamaga for. Let me say topics near the surge of the CD in recent times and the Ahondia in Sikano Enya against major trading currencies. No, I do not want to believe that it's because of the trade policies of the US in Tina. All of a sudden, in Sikasemi, Asha Sia, Enya Hondino. There are a lot of factors. If you read a bit about exchange rate determination, some external factors play a role, but for the most part, sometimes the things you do domestically, and whether your currency would be strong or not. For example, your net foreign reserves is a very significant determinant of how strong your currency is against other currencies. Now, Ushaswa, in fact, your trade deficit and your current account deficit and let me see current account balance also plays a very important role. Now, if you look at the components of your current account now, you'd see that. So usually when you are drawing up these things, your balance of payment sheet now, you do like if you're familiar with the idea, like accountants say, yeah, when accountants are doing reconciliation, they have debit and credit. That's just the same way, balance of payments sheet, is prepared. So if you look at how much is coming in and how much is going out, at the end of the day, when you strike the balance, if what is going out, is more than what is coming in, then you record the deficit and all that. Until we seem to be doing very well on improving on your current account balance, even though it's still a deficit, but the extent, a swati kakra. Now, if you also look at some of the fiscal and monetary decisions we've taken in the short period, so Bisu, have also helped. For me, I do not think it is time for celebration yet.
Of course. Because
Abain is yet to start spending. Abain has started servicing some of the foreign debt overhang. Abain would still borrow. When we borrow, we service our debt. And each time you go to service your debt, especially external debt, when you go to procure external debt, usually it is in foreign currency denominations, for the most part, dollar denominated. And you go to back, and I always tell people, say, if you want to understand the dynamics of exchange rate, just look at it as your normal, goods market. Demand and supply, and they determine the price. Just like every other market, in the goods market, what you call price, in the forex market, you call it exchange rate. And the demand and supply, and they determine how much your exchange rate is going to be. And if you look at the factors that cause a constraint when it comes to, in fact, Ghana, your problem has always been the supply side of forex, and the factors that cause a constraint, NSA, we import more than we export. So a lot of the time, I say $1 government borrows excessively. So government would have to go and service the debt, which means the little dollar now and the few dollars now you want to go and service the debt. Until at the end of the day, you'd realize that the shortage in supply of forex continues to grow, and that is why we keep having this problem of young currency losing value against the other currencies. Because at the end of the day, the little that is in circulation, yes, it's only in the requirement on it. And if we all decide as a country, there are some and structural things we need to do. Politicians, but very few people actually give effect and meaning to these promises when it comes to changing the structure of our economy. Structural transformation is the only way for us to get ourselves out of the perennial problem of exchange rate issue. See, but politicians bekan fefefe oba na akwa bibia wo ho. Nti in the meantime, my view is say some of these gains ni say we are yet to fully activate some fiscal decisions, like the decision to borrow, decision to fully, to start servicing our external debt fully. When say at the point there was a suspension on the service of external debt. Until dollars na SAD Kotria Kano Ekagana. Nenyina Kahumbi. But government has resumed the servicing of such external debt, but not fully. My issue is that when that fully resumes, it's going to place a drag and is going to drain the forex reserves. Well, I'm not talking about foreign reserves. So, the forex that is in circulation, Secondly, when government starts borrowing, a woman said dollars be ba, but a bar near bindi at the end of the day, kana ebe kano would spend a lot of our money every year, in fact every quarter. Sikaka krana ya wono, said the court and I service the interest on the debt na yako contract. Until for me, I think it is too early yet to be jubilant, because sometimes these shocks happen, but as to whether they will be sustained, for me is where the question is. And they say, what are the things that have ensured these current gains? And I've spoken about the fact that Abain is yet to, borrow, which is one. We are not fully servicing, our external debt is another. And businesses are also a bit hesitant. This is a new government, they are not sure how it is going to go. Until they are pausing on some of their business decisions, like the importation of goods and services, of goods. Until when have allowed, some forex to be in circulation. Well, and again, what I've also realized is well, this may sound a bit political, but it needs to be said. Like it or not, people hoard forex. The Rankrofua Omodoles she's on pass it. Yamvanko Bank. What is here? Until once and
for car.
Well, it does run out the account. A bisicano edam pass it. And these are people because of the stability of the dollar. The dollar being a global reserve currency, people always feel comfortable. Say, if they get some illicit money and an ending can be, they feel it's better to save Sasikano in dollars than to go and save it in the bank, because they feel that the value of the CD, usually whittles away very quickly. Until yam fan koto dollar, but see, because of near Kukosui, people's houses have been ransacked and so on. Amam4 have slowed down on the purchase of dollars for hoarding purposes. It is a multiplicity of factors. Nama yenya sa temporary gains. Like I said, how sustainable is this? That's what we are praying for. So we should be able to sustain this up to a certain point, which would mean some of the fiscal decisions we are relaxing on, we can't continue to relax on them. For example, finance ministry can say we won't borrow for the rest of the fiscal year. It's not possible. What is here? NCBA, I'm sure they'll start floating bonds. We patch dollar denominated bonds. Until we fully activate some of these fiscal decisions, if we do that now, we still have a stable currency. Then we can say, Bibi Srunkune Koso. But for now, I think it's just some decisions that we have not fully activated. The decision of businesses waiting to see the end of Koso and Sana or master implement some of their business decisions, no. Nina ekahubi. Obisu say Trump. I don't think Trump has played any role in the stabilization of this currency. Minjindi, because I've racked my brain to see how. But you see the fact that you can say Trump is having trade wars with other countries does not change the fact that the greenback is still the reserve currency. It's still the reserve currency. Until every external transaction you are going to engage in, you engage in dollar. In fact, there is this IMF report last year that indicated the dollar was ceding ground to other non-traditional currencies in global trade. And of course, the United States in India. But it still did not completely weaken the dollar. Until lots of the transactions are still done in dollars. Look, oil trade is the biggest, or let me say, oil is the biggest commodity traded globally. And gold. I am yet to see anybody trade gold in any other currency apart from the dollar. Usually the quotations are in dollars and what have you. Until dollar is still, the greenback is still the reserve currency. Until I do not see how the trade war between China and the US would impact the dollar in such a way that it would begin to strengthen our currency locally. I think it is some fiscal decisions we have taken locally, and some decisions by the business community Nama as some of these things. I would caution against early jubilation, because so many things need to be in place to sustain our currency. I mean, the strength of the currency. If we begin importing full scale, look, we'll go back to where we were. I would have thought that this is the time for government to say, look, we have had some stability. What do we do to ensure that this stability becomes a permanent one? Let's have a national conversation about that. Boom. Gutafo Su are saying, well, there appears to be a downward spiral in the value of the dollar against the cedi. And it should have a reflection on pricing. Kromha, as I said, prices in this country are very sticky. What that means is that it takes the lag for the reflection of economic circumstances in pricing very long. It takes a long time for, in Sakrebi Ba, it takes a long time for that to reflect in pricing. Ghana needs a new Makoye Krana. Obakajo said, Mikoton, you may Busumi Mai until Mrs. Surprise now and share Meboka. And it's an attitude that we need to also look at. Unfortunately for us, this is a free market economy. You can't control pricing. What I say? Until Gutafo insisting say prices should immediately change because of the change in dollar. No, I think it's a call that I disagree with. Esan say the space of time within which we have experienced this strengthening of the dollar, the window is too narrow for businesses
to be taking such decisions.
What I say? Because Oyena Sebi Yamin Fasamba, because dollar na hon in sutia na nebre. I'm praying that we continue to have a sustained, strong, Ghana cedi. But say, Ekobani say, Nipana send the prices. What ton goods newe. Before the person goes back, na Jaka sa teaching. Nature said there's going to be a lot of losses due to exchange rate differentials. And that might even eat up the capital. Until I would urge that Yemma coin. Let's tell the monetary, what do they call them? The economic policy elites, the monetary policy authorities and then the fiscal policy authorities, So whatever it is they are doing, even though I feel some of these things are not necessarily some unique policies, but whatever it is, let's give ourselves a quarter or so. If we continue to have a stronger CDR, then we can begin to impress on the traders and everybody else who offers.
Or have a kinky party.
No, Muna Namu, yes, MB1 and a kinky party. I doubt if NDC. No, I mean, that's the point. What is the need to celebrate? It's actually in the first place an indictment on us. A country such as Ghana, we get excited over small gains. See, what has here? We started with South Korea, and you should maybe a South Korea war. We are now struggling to even keep our currency stable, so that when we even record marginal improvements, and I keep saying, sir, I mentioned the point about borrowing and its effect on our exchange rate. When we were under an IMF program, the extended credit facility, way better 2 years. Look, for whatever it is worth, I have my issues with us going through these programs. Conditionality lending always has issues. But if you look at how irresponsible we have been as a country, sometimes here, because if you can't control yourself, you need an external force to control you. But when we're about leaving the program, a man for watch a party, a Kingi party, a Tubani party, because they felt us is here, we have had our freedom. Now we can go back to engage in SAG, borrowing. What has here? And no account and the could do something because we felt now we are free. Oh, we can access the capital markets. We kept borrowing. You can say, look, we have to for say Munjai, the borrowing binge is not helping. So they are doing smart borrowing.
We have capacity to borrow more.
To borrow more. And
if it B plus, what is it? Junk.
No, I mean junk. They were being charitable. It should have been worse than junk because the economy at the point. Look, today you were not credit worthy anymore.
But I think they wouldn't. They working kind. They were seeing physical some honey idea in an baby. I was here regardless of factors. I'm a easy carriage. Sechna, a bunch as yes, would your contract or servicing foreign debt. Now, MMDC is your banner a bunch capital expenditure. Say, Diana, base as well as it is and 2. Then a baby I was here over expected a bind by a send a bear is sitting no, me.
We need to increase our international reserves.
How do we do that?
You see, I don't know.
Export ball.
Yeah. You see, to increase our international reserves, there are a lot of things we need to do.
Okay.
First, like you said, exporting more. We need to saturate our reserves with more gold. Mintia say Ghana. A gold producing economy like Ghana. And yet, share your gold reserves now is nothing to write home about. We do harm in Tiasia. Because your gold reserves, a power currency, What you say? They back your currency. Well, I'm sure they are aware. Everybody knows. Because this is elementary economics. Obiati here. What you say?
And I say it could also be said gold, no dear. Because you're to go out to me found some caninti. And you're liquid, wouldn't mean found some.
What you say? Until beer and also come. And we also would have to watch government spending.
Okay.
I've always said, look, when you are faced with a problem like this, there are 2 options. Either government increases its revenue or rationalizes expenditure. Increasing revenue is not easy because 2 or 3 years end up from. Until usually, only he has a corrupt man.
And never be free by and
we order and run.
And no one day.
What you say? So we need to rationalize expenditure, which would mean say government. Because the government shouldn't spend and engage in capital expenditure, but new money be why it to the beer we spend on them are necessarily and why it's buying a free home. Because once you do that, your deficit gets lowered and you wouldn't have to rely on borrowing to finance the deficit. What is here? Until government needs to rationalize its expenditure, increase our reserves. And again, government will also have to embark on some radical industrialization program. Look, I keep saying, Ghana has comparative and competitive advantage in the production of so many things. But for some reason, politicians become fair. So transform the economy. And your card transformation of the economy, and yet a use from Kubiao.
I take for instance, Jenny in toast,
plantain,
mako,
yes,
kontomire,
Nina, as I say, important Cote d'Ivoire,
tilapia, I confirm,
yeah,
and a friend say, Yamwadie,
Waja Gary.
Gary.
Can you imagine, say, Ghana says, yeah, we are importing Gary, how?
China, Gary.
Look, Ghana can be a net exporter of a lot of these things because we have comparative and in some cases competitive advantage in their production. What you say? Gary say cassava, baby. Look, our land is fertile for the cultivation of cassava. All we require is deliberate government policy. This idea of one district, one factory, if some more thought had been given to it and the implementation in a year, we should have been having a conversation about how then do we move into tech. What you say? Ghana can no, it's true. Ghana can be a hub. Uko India say, Uko even Dubai. Dubai tech normally start here. And Dubai very popular. Computers, computer. They were even doing assemblage. They were not even so much into development of apps and other things. They were just doing assemblage. Ghana has what it takes. Mikai Mrebi, there was the plan to set up what you call industrial parks. And also, I don't know. You see, sometimes, look, we require a leader who is not thinking about the present and the immediate. Sometimes taking tough decisions are not popular. Those decisions are not popular because we party for young supply woman and yiska. But these things won't involve supply. And if you are not tougher, you feel like I'm party for some programs procurement beyond by you. But at the end of the day, you're just year. That you crown the end of procurement. That is how Dubai started. Now, who can set it up in Dubai? You need to have local participation. And the end of any foreign investor would have to partner with a local. What I say, to invest in the tech industry if we are able to develop it. And yes, Anna, more money is coming, more forex will be coming into this country. And finally, near Midway, West Africa, the West African sub-regional market is huge. Look, you're producing your main now, we won't even have to struggle to sell. Since here, after Swaba, after Adaruma, you can even go beyond the shores of West Africa, beyond the ECOWAS market, to even other, you can access other markets on the continent. We have to have a deliberate plan, and this time we should go beyond rhetoric. So we change the fundamentals of the economy as if for and go a procurement and importation. There should be a plan. For example, so I'm buying a year mass procurement like sanitary pass almost on be. Can't we have
local content?
Exactly. Look, let's say where the Obia Obe supply pad to Sam Kwale, Ministry of Education, engage people who are buying only from Ghanaian made sanitary pads. You boost our sector, no? But one will say Omoko China is cheaper.
Na Atik.
Yes.
Africa, I don't know, Ubinya saying
but you see, these things have to be deliberate government policies. Because if we keep saying, say, we need to export more, what are you exporting? And this government has a plan to get industries and our factories to work 24 hours. You don't just operate 24 hours in a vacuum. Demand has to stimulate that. And if there is no demand for your goods, why would you want to waste money on labor running shifts doing nothing? And this is an opportunity for this government. They have a plan that they want to do things to get people to work overtime, work more, produce more. People produce more when there's demand for it. Create the enabling environment for that demand to exist. Empower the private sector so they can produce to meet that demand. Yes, Anna, and you've been able to catch the local producers say, once demand has grown, there's the need for more production, which would mean that you would have to increase all input factors. especially labor. These are, I was talking about West Africa. If we are able to have our own currency in the sub-region, sub problem are war with individual weak currencies in the sub-region also, and also because our currencies are inconvertible. Beyond the shores of Ghana city is useless. In principle, the West African Monetary Zone, we are supposed to be. There are 7 countries. We are supposed to be spending our currencies across these countries. But the Ghana is called Nigeria, and whether it's a bit media to be and the ultimate plan towards a stable currency is for us to have a West African sub-regional currency.
Okay, men so meda se papa Atik Mohammed na Oten en kana channel so sen komo twetwe EcoBank o mada Romania de brewo EcoBank semen kan so say o EcoBank customer na udru ba bi na hia sika no an so bobo star 770 hash star 770 hash you be connect to account na fe the opposite wo ye bia na waye share sa code in suma star 770 hash EcoBank star 770 hash na with them EcoBank your Pan African bank. Prof.
Yes sir.
I mean you are
good. Ne di kan nia a free baby no aba menua Dr. Kesela to force in penso. Nti de bebo na baso. Senia na yenyina ye nua pani Ken Oforiata ba ya na dollar no ifitiase na especially first 4 years na dollar no ko ne cedi no utunze na cedi na ho de ne wo so ne ade na ye bom abaso a na honorable kasasa abre no na ndc force omu no mu ye adwuma ni nyina ato ho nti ebebi ba sa abre sometime pastor ne ye boken Oforiata ba so nti enne menua Dr. Kesela to forcing you are in charge one monetary team Bank of Ghana for na fiscal side for ni nyina dia mo ya ye beyond ya ye keken ya e bia ye nim obi kra se economic forum na ye no recommendations ni bi na e fuel ni e koso ebi no ma admit good for oil ebi mo disagree ni ade whatever it is e si wo open so oye ohun na e koso say ya ye be koso abo abaso. I agree with Minia Atik when he says it's not time for celebration yet. Sisi na a nose dive na e betimi akofom no. Mummy ehwe kwan bi e be fa so e be man akofom more. Na nke du ba bi ne ehwe say some of these things we are thinking say power ne ekoso e free ho na ni ho na ye face reality at least yenya ba bi de ho atwere be say kra basoro kakra kra dan kakra bi e betimi manage nti ye no time e say ye gi ani aban ye free ho na dan go for aban free ho na interbank 14.7 and na interbank 12.5 na say nya be 2% gain be downwards nti nya no celebration yet. Ghana your best average has been 7.3 or so nti yen hwa se e be ben ho kakra o de yen mra 10 ne yen tra kakra na fi hu senia ye be ye no nti mebo menua Kesela to force abaso market sentiments and economic issues in them say menua take akika bebre but market sentiment bit no e bi ni near Bank of Ghana for quickly omuba be avete ya anka menua Dr. menua Honorable Adongo ye akose no
it was creating panic.
It nearly caused the unexpected.
It almost reversed the gains.
Yeah.
Why will he do that?
That's
one. Nearly, seriously, because Sanya May, who's a forex best say yeah, now exchange rate best say yeah. Yeah, well, those economic things I hear discussed now, and yeah, what the market sentiment, as little as Dr. Adongo, no, say Honorable Adongo, no, Nyanke beti mi akosi no, you have no idea. Enti minim say ya pardon no. Let we can.
Me tell you, must about me team first. Me say 2013-14, ho baby, I think so be kaya.
Yeah, wampa.
Eco fast dollar only be by what?
Any machine ni jeans
enti no, so enemy mama say yes. Everyone was say into on kaya no. So enti well, I mean aba ebia
but to attempt to even put it on the Bank of Ghana said that's the decision. He's a member of the board.
Yes. No, but you see, Mr. Honorable Adongo, even if you were the board chair of Bank of Ghana at Aroma, you don't speak for the bank. And no dear, that is the crust of all the mistake or any idea meaning we can maybe pardon him, maybe no call ahead
even
of,
if he speaks for the bank, that was a wrong communication.
Board members don't speak for the bank.
Me say, I
speak
think
for the bank.
Senko numpo ne kasa ma bank no kra enye sa ne kasa. Hey, asemo wo dollar eba for ma obi a ehu shede hu say ye ne abo ye hu modi hu say obi na you. Then all of a sudden you go and throw in this.
We finish no onim se omo aban mu. The no omo de ye no. So propaganda no omo de ekutia no. Ni refi no say no owa aban.
Yeah.
What you say? Nti ye mbon nkae.
Nti I think say ni refi no.
But more man ni refi no hu say
Debbie we dey. Now, me Bank of Ghana and so abasu because they have demonstrated say they are not interested in more politics now more irrespective of who and who is the governor or who and who is the then they have acted professionally as a bank would do. Sebe omuntina homa o politics are now say any JB about timunti okay ya na o kasare na host no crap prompt no host no person man queue be say chale honorable unya be man so ntene ho ase o chenchina na obeka no beka enti Bank of Ghana musmo ya de
onwe apofin da ho
wetin na o chro
me see
enti mama be clarify sa name no mesre market sentiments ni nyina amra from sebe na CD account ho. And for whatever reason you open the dollar account at the Roma or corner person you can create dollar account more. It has been settled. Yemfa minua don't go there in tonchen. On Kasama Bank of Ghana say the status quo remain. Obianko meeting Bianco Casa or dollar and yafa yebema CD in C and TFN on tonchen. Now I buy I rigid a characteristic of early days. Me sure say in fact sometimes even when muba abai mu for no kra no omu clear all sika what various accounts mu de ba at the hand nyina account arrangement no so they can recall all funds in circulation I bind there meaning organizations be affect you almost any ade and so who settle we hwehwe nneema mu wi then you can begin to be giving out to projects ebia akan finfina so this kind mom de to aso nsa ne manema no sanso na kind of returns wo ho emra no ye rigid me kai say me ne joy interview conversation with us tech honorable and we were all appreciating and I say near pointed to some of these rigidities na sabre no openi ken ne government of that day e de ato egugu akwanu ni nyina na e ka ho ma na ye currency ni na abasobo na e bo na e ka ho ye betimi I release ye betimi start say ye projects are ye ben responsibly affect ye exchange rate ni so much and so ye ba be start ye ba be affected because bloated contracts obia interest na be doso sika ba ko obia be pe bi adi na ba ko na akodan wo ha. Yes, we can start spending, but me caution ye nyina ye hu say start say ye spend ya. Ye betimi a spend ya and me say gains and I say faso ye nya wo ye see the na ho odi aye kosoro nim. Say for once aban ni aban mu mpanifo be sesa ye o madwene say omu de ketewese ebeye adekese amoman no other than Ghana ye timi je sika bebre mu ye be we na project ne krampo non-existent ye hu na campus ye hu faso e de bebre nso nti macho ha say yes mo best start say more service more debt mo best start say more spend it very soon. In fact say year one we kra mo ye rigid kra kosi asia omo party for no informal start kra bo muja. Year 2 they will begin to spend. If they start to spend best say mo spend responsibly na ama me say e see no me ne won so no ye nyina ya je atum se sika say kowie wo bank money must circulate within the banking system. Yes we betimi akoyi bi aba by say o direct no ne awo ye nyina say ne okoto ade no ho no geboa no a say despite savings and loans
best point
now they were reverting it back to the banking sector. Say bibia circulated back to akwa say ye nipa dua yi. Say be moja ni free, I think the right side of the langa, the hearta. Say kwa nesafa left in sababe room. In fact, baby cha na circulation ne ye discontinued. Now if you fear say a pie koku baby fofra. Ye kra de nipa kra de otimi kra famu.
In fact, oka heart knows the doctor and the machine. No, I say akwe akuma obe anything.
But some the
oracles and the ventricles are working very well.
Very well. Well, enti ye no mu a aya ye disconnect sa circulation path no. Ye man before. Frankly, ye ku man no, we are actually killing the country. Tisanya nka nipedua ucha vensi mu na nka se moja ne fam ko epiegu ebi na ebi no moye no. Why do you turn your homes into banks
and cars?
And yes, moment of uncertainty and maybe a lack of trust in the system.
No, it's just
comfort.
They're just
I think.
Oh.
But sometimes
you keep your money in
you
the bank.
You cannot blame some of the people. Sometimes, I mean,
these are educated people.
No.
Don't let for anybody to possess forex. Anybody educated.
I'm not saying they are not educated, though. Sometimes you can't blame them. Obi so hard, or risk averseness to banking. I mean, because of
where is the aversion coming from?
School na debt to debt management. I mean, let me be frank with you. I didn't say a bunk of 4 I mean the debt exchange program. You know, so some people have been affected emotionally, psychologically.
Yes. Nana, me ken sebe yenkasa senti anesa, it may not be 0, but some minimum threshold be. You may keep. The American say at least
1 million and above. But that's a lot of money.
Then think that yesikasa. Yes, importation. Yeah, more importation than exportation. That is fine. But me can't ever feed this to say, and yet ye import dollars are yen minimum. Sometimes I need also see. In fact, the last time before your government ended, now ye was surplus. Now you will trade surplus. It meant not in the quantity of items we exported, though, but the value of items we exported. Now ye gold in here, you know, Ghana ye see car man for page free had daily edeko. Enye Ghana see the asemo dollars in the yen so yenya dollars ni bi. Yenya bi gold maye bi cocoa maye bi ne man ketekete bi maye dollars ni bi de ba. Now the reason why I yen de bi suffer in the equation of forex and exchange rate and then nyina say ye ma insecurity ye twe fam. Ye twe fam ni nyan ketekete bi na da bi. Hey, large volumes. Minia Mustafa Gbande na o ye interview ne same bi wo kuma say hello. Na no ka di diagronti me so me jana good dey so dey educate one momutie. O say ato force na ya ade na o ka ne sa. Na wa ha ne pa o ya ade dey but wa ha no Mustafa Gbande because ne dollars bi a o keep ye. Ba for me wa ma wa lose. Are you keeping dollars, Minia Mustafa Gbande? Why? For what?
No, maybe what he meant, even if it's in the bank, you still would lose value on it.
Okay, even if it's
because you bought it at a higher
anyway, okay, rate. Thanks for the correction. Thanks for the correction. I felt from Niameti and say
but $1 no. Whether we fear or bank, we fear and say what bank no. Still
but may discourage the homekeeping hoarding of your forex, whether euro or a year, the Monfanco Bank. A kahuna a high empire.
If you end it neatly, you should not be scared to take it to the bank. What does it? Let me cover an end income. I'm for a lot of the monies under the base are an end income. They can't explain.
Bank question yeah.
If you've run a forex account and because of the Republic of Gambaga, sure. What do you want to go come? Oh, na bank na free. They want to know again then away. Na zikane free hin eba. Now coin so Imagine millions.
Eko kahua. And I went to Cabo if you have a phone for questioning. Nana, ye forex so yanka no kre. Ghana ha, ye dieno. Ewa abuchi insem sense ne wo bank insem. Enunti na yentimi managing.
Black market.
Yes.
Abuchi ma good risk.
Yes. Yes.
Enunti Mitio Obiaso was say Bank of Ghana has the rate. Abuchi has the dollars.
Yes. Yes. Oh yes, sir. It will never be sustainable. Until near against ya ye person a celebrity. Near bema na ye sustainable kese ye pansi idea ni beshe sa black market ho. I don't know why.
Prof, do you know why it is difficult to get rid of the black market? Very good. When you go to the banks, they have Nkrofobia from dealers.
Yes.
So they engage in forex trading.
Yes.
So they buy, forward contracts. They buy dollars today, and usually they do their forecasting. Say, maybe in the next quarter and in the next month and next week, the price might be safe because of whatever. And Tinipanu toa, no kotoa. If they buy it and then they go and sell, what they make profit through the spread.
Yeah.
So the difference between their ask price and then the offer price is what gives them money. When him say when interbank rates, nobody wants to exchange money in the banks. They say the spread is usually very high. They are buying price and they are selling price. Usually difference to home. But abochi there obeti so say 1 peso akra no benya abochi beton. Until ba uko banka the minimum benya any 6 pesos and above. Who would want, because once you buy it at that expensive rate, you are losing money.
Absolutely.
Who would want, and any rational agent, everybody is rational. Who would want to go and lose money?
I think I know you're one side, but there are people too, and I am a personal my experiences are the end da. Men so minim sa abochi o honso me call bank say me pen or banker.
They'll tell
Honorable.
you, yes.
Bank nya ma bank kwa they told me directed me to
because bank in him say given the price we are selling our forex at no obiamba enti yenso yemfama bochi no ndane dan because they are making money.
You see,
look, banks survive only
absolutely
enti what the ma abochi then they contem I go this Kumasi before or the ones you crack to now contem o bank ya or no potency
and no ye fa na alatedwa
and the bank manager now turn na forex na wa obi ambeton no abochi beji we are na achemfa so no so these are the things it's a practical thing in the market.
We live in the
forex market sanity.
You see senya sampo a senya oka npo anya numpo a sabe adenti na maba bank na me hia me wo me bibia me tu kwa na wo unya mame a ehwa awasan so otina ha
anyway
bochi de boto aba ampeniampa no nya mame
what can some
unim
nana we perform the form practical ways of sustaining your gains a ebenya na se kokoye organized crime koye obia ye part because here can banks and ketu and bank manager or any branch bi ni yeka and so sabe ebia na organized emma obia wo mu bi ebi kura na
asofo mu
obia wo ebia na asofo wo mu ono avo se memfa asofo nka ho obia wo mu bi sadia ene na ya na ye boy mind form. We can look at that if we are serious. Ye pese ye we no afi importation no a ya ka no a yenya akwanya bia still no na ye importing no na menu a take ka yes na me no minim ni enti a obi be sunlight say or per dollar da kakoto e bia medical essentials and spare parts and anema bia ye ni bi o memu ha no bi so gina queue ni mu aso no so per dollar e da kotkra gari dia ba e de per dollar da kotkra we sleep binade nana yawo
Professor Smazapon
mestre momienya leaders a omudo man no kakra at least nanka trend ye afiase ye de niam bi gugu akwam a ye betimi asiesie ya ye ma ye betimi aye ne ye. We are not going to go on that tangent. Fine, sanitary pass are best netrim.
It's not a one-off thing, no. I think it's supposed to be
a yearly. And the next, you know, yensha hawa
benu krampo no. yearly. Do they menstruate yearly?
The monthly. Say about me and son for the term and after the semester.
Oh, me and
It
son.
will be a school and some another 3 for the term or the semester. A man and a man count.
You know, yeah. Which gives, I mean, local producers of science.
Okay, so Professor Smasapon.
Yes, sir.
Yenim say ye better part yearly. Yemfan say year 1, you need company be our Ghana ha o produce.
We do.
Yate.
Yeah, some no can.
Yate. Enti dean ye be yes and ye be year 2 yan kokrebium. Knowing very well say CSS is cedi no e de $1 na akwa buy the pressure ba to so. Dean ye di go come say year 2 ye be wa han yan konkoto.
They should come and tell us.
No, it's easy. Government should have partnership with private sector. Look, announce, say, government is going to engage in the purchase of these things. Wow, we are local producer, no? And now you have intentions to invest in this. Brand ending common. We will be guaranteed off takers.
Yeah.
Who produce yeah.
Fine.
So we know the number of girls in secondary schools.
They are
so yearly, this is the
9 million.
So 9 million. Until
9 million
let's say
pass.
this is what we need, 9 million. With the tendency say a baby account from. Until which of you, how many are you? I'm betting me. Government is a guaranteed off taker. Sikani there you was cano. Now if they are 4 mpo, now what depend on their capacities. And trust me, they will be able to deliver.
Local people will do it.
They will deliver.
But some kakra so surprisingly, some of our locally made things turn out
Don't
to be
meet the
more
standards.
expensive.
Okay, expensive.
No, as for cost of production, dear.
What's I say?
But do you know how much government is buying
No,
it at?
America say
Government is not buying it cheaply.
But honorable, let's hold it at be a local, ne boy a chain foreign one. Local no, ne tax component in Guay saying.
No, so you see, and no, that's the conversation we are talking about. There can be some fiscal decisions. Said, why? India phone me, Mebodi, India phone Lebanese voice. We give them tax holidays.
Yeah.
Can't we do that to
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Then we are not serious.
Bro.
Just say, and there doesn't appear to be changing soon because
it has to.
Because the whole abuse so you were.
But it's sign we dey me ha cardinal kakra as a chief justice assembly hear me pa.
Yeah ba ho.
And I will become one.
Yeah ba ho. And the prof for anusima me
yes. Medema no si no adwadifoɔ ne gutafoɔ monso mo ho abem. In fact, omu raise issues bi omu ne Madam Elizabeth Foso Ejare ehia no omu person mo say stock no betimi replace no in I think 2 months time
90 days 90 days
that's a 3 months time into no sessional replacement period ni mu no changes bi a ma trend ni na dollar ni gusua year omuso mu betite
but prof the way I see push adwadifo say omonti omonema so mum ye hwe ne ye kakra because baby I see the regional say an obi antwe mfa ne sense ne bon ka say in the next 3 months in the next 4 months e be gina ho.
No, the push is because of inflation. Government has to control inflation kakra, and inflation is a component of price index. The entire country nyema toto enti ye can say edwadie no a price is a bafoma na is a inflation no so e bafoma and no so e ma usika no so ahoden
whether it's sustainable or not is another issue.
Yes, apart from say e betimi the price reduction and control inflation kakra no me the reason why I'm say dodo na e pushy e omu aguta na nkasa in the past how they have treated the element of exchange rate in the price build up.
Okay, Mate.
Omwa no mudomu ho aba. Omama na say dollar necessarily ho pe instantly they must change. They don't talk about stock and turn around time for omu stock. Dollar bien who say ya omu buy so ya kra nyamanda da this dollar rate. Enti e course ri no. Ye was stock I wo that da ne de no a ye ton kakra ma ni wi a.
So because or ton koto.
Enti se sotia na Musuma, I think that is where the argument is coming from.
Mate, Scancom PLC, that is MTN Ghana, invites all its stakeholders to its extraordinary general meeting, that is EGM, which will take place both in person and virtually on Wednesday, May 21, 2025 at 11 a.m. The in-person event will be held at the Accra International Conference Center. Stakeholders wishing to participate virtually must use their unique access code, which has been shared with all stakeholders via SMS and email. The access link will be virtual EGM. The access link to the virtual EGM is http://mtngegm.com/gh and is free for all stakeholders on the MTN network. For further enquiries, stakeholders can contact info@csd.com.gh, info@csd.com.gh, or visit MTN's EGM website on the /MTNGE mtngegm.com/. Shareholders are reminded to bring their Ghana card for identification. We look forward to your participation in the EGM. Thank you. MTN, everywhere you go. Doc, round 2 na me know e free asie Chief Justice asem usie hia ntiminim say round 2 e ho na opese wode Kokrokoo gina nti mama of 5 minutes e round 2 mama ntie de opese oka.
Dedi kayem say me dofu bi Paulina ene birthday nti mama emboso or anya so to Mchantan area. The Paulina we dey nche come out. I think say the Eyema Samijemfi Eyema Chief Justice eso. Massive no. Ni tia wa no say Samijemfi Yamano Kwan the Eyema Chief Justice so a second chance. That is life. The akobano no. My concern for the most part ne say ya ma judicial independence na ho atochima na entimi nkoba say no ye promote say abanfo for ba obe nominate Speaker of Parliament, which is another arm of government, no assign a chusu or no ano so a Chief Justice sa trend ya ye ba be seti media my drink a crowd democracy hono. I think say a wrong precedent because say Yera Mahama respectfully or yes I deal with ne or China a bindful for bar whether within NDC and now within MPP a bar or no back say oh na say Yera Mahama or no bar and no nya kwenya efa the Speaker of Parliament as I nominate the Chief Justice intimeso mabe maybe and sa path no boying na ne krakrado adena koyese double jeopardy ne ka double jeopardy na nado dan kwakufado petitions ne ba nanim ma oka so enkita waiter na enye ngina so ade Chief Justice aban for fraba ne krakrado na me dwen say the same petition no yentumi nsan fa bo ma meno so bo unless say ye kase between December 7th to January 7th ma many ye bibi fufo I nunti ama Yera Mahama afase ye suspended no na ebia Yera Mahama ba with some level of higher than currently known integrity and as the level of justice, but enrichi me hwɛ de akoba go for two age na say Yera Samijemfi boni awaye yemfa nche no Yera Mahama etumi tie de chair de na mesreka say to me kra Chief Justice na no ye den kra chain Samijemfi ejuma no enti say inkitu mo de ache de supposing we are supposing no se mamena e bonimpo in mbrakwan so na odi ache Samijemfi dia meme so meka se Yera Mahama ene Chief Justice asem no eno so jemu ma enka na my biggest fear independence of the judiciary eno ne asema media maker na die ni kan say ebisi maame no anya de se wentie council na ono ane de pe ebeka se omampani or your recommendation say nipa nipa ye dwuma bench no esa nti emfa bi nka ho na ne krakra no me kai say ye parliament 8th parliament ndc vote to ejina ema dayesona ma me nya empo no anko through. Now how do you punish somebody for crime? I mean, fan say eja one ankusi meka sana near say 5 mpoye boy mekai mia mendam for suhini muka say Ghana so but Chief Justice do I want enough and then no ejare for fraba abayin for fraba from 5 no crown here cost 7, which also means any my menasem no kind na no say sena omedwuma no edoso no omu hia edom kakra ka ho no na say ma no one form it's a very incongruous me papa brother back of time epeka incongruous say supposed crimer yes so ma many no yeah on another side no yeah the 7 pori 7 no and I then about it's young kind papa
is it one of the claims of the petitioners?
Oh
yeah, it's one of the,
yeah one of the he said one fan fa clients of the faso and no yeah recommendation nti say mo say 5 justices are yeah recommendation no nti and am so the
was it the process or the number?
Well
issues with?
Either way no ultimately the main point is say na e bonimpo it did not pan out nti akwaba konyo say I want to comment crime where the crime kono it did not pan out. What am I say na say your Chief Justice position no yeah did the agrosa and you see I respect Sophia Kufu so much. I respect her so much. What prove say or you're principled.
No, she's a stateswoman.
What am I say? Ojina mu time yenkwa kra no mu call ahohihie mu against a president I nominated no. Pacho what am I say? And na see ye be kano kra. Mate say the position be o legon kra na say because of otwage na say bonia ye de subo ye de bo mame no enye enjina so enough I did two or hene sabita fracture kumase ana santimem otumfo me sisui anya kra no we wa paw the nkofo bese 4 bi say omo nnyem omo ye ntin we yo me free akonya no so
otu omo
what am I say na ansa na obetu hene no na ye wonjina so eno nchesa ahemfu pi na wo ho no omo hu ni asem omo asem but there should be something of merit yedi A2 Chief Justice ebi ya no mo they compare EC Charlotte to say fine but let me say electoral commission any arm of government. What am I say arm of government presidential and executive judiciary a court munsem and legislative mbrashe bedwumunsem
enti wo boni nyina aposen
enti kakra meka ne say the dikan say the achesami jemfidia ma men boni supposed boni a ono so aye no yera mahama ene ehwena efa eyi ma men so
na ensem mienu aye kan adekro
say eto de bia fa chamina we have no court cases yetumi hwe baako na de aye baako yesu kra no ye de necessary nipa bone what am I say because of the exigence of the time inti de aba a ye di dwa no baako aye bone anase wiase kasa say sami de vi ye wo opposition nkofo use dollars a emun sensem a woka ene de ba ne say na wo so obeye sa ade ya na wo bo MPP appointees echi eno yera mahama say apology a sami jemfi ede by no iden wasumu enti say wasumu otumi so apology mu sa ade a ene yeso de sergeant to ikon ho say maami so ngofo asupa no na ye be say to me no ana position of Chief Justice no enye ade a didi agrosa enti say offenses kono say ebetumi a ye de ache sami jemfi dia on fanche maame no so na ɔman no nkɔ n'anim because yɛmpɛ sɛ ɛbɛyɛ trend a sɛ aban foforɔ biara ba kwan biara ɔbɛfa so a ɔbɛyi chief justice efiri hɔ no ɔno so bɛyɛ and bɛdeɛ minim Ghana ɛna minim Ghana for so sɛ yɛde bɔ tikyi yɛde bɛbɔ baa and I don't want that.
ASI William Opoku Mensah, WO, Immigration Professional Standards and Ethics Office, our Greater Accra Regional Headquarters, and pay Mouse Walker, or say special greetings, Emma, na special Accra, me probu actually. And pay Mouse Honorable Dixon at Marco Kisi. More and Sembisa as a Semuhiano. ASI Williams Opoku Mensah Etafro WO Immigration Professional Standards and Ethics Greater Accra Regional Headquarters Mausisi Omwachi Yankopon Enka okay. Dr. Dixon Admaku Kisi is one of the most powerful communicators among the MPP party. Doc Kisi and Yasu Trium is hoping to see you in 2028. Jimaima, sorry. Jimaima. Pacho more air, Udamba can be a better. More air. Cecilia, I'm watching in Oslo, Norway, listening to us this morning. Cici, Marche, Yadase Pa, se Osusu, Unya Daji, Etienne, I bring them, Yadwase Pa. Christiana Free Ye, Anakane, Fidel Pharmacy, I say, and you are that. Part I will say, oh, happy birthday. Adik,
yeah.
Chief Justice, any other issue? What's up, come in the next 5 minutes?
Yes. Just quickly, one other thing I'm really feared to mention was that possibly could account
I think you pay for pound.
Me finish a long quiz and to be na.
I'm a gentleman, me but to the end,
Adik, Opa Kaja Doc say. Near Wutimi or see any crowd.
Oh, me one try. Me come because I want to try. And the idea, na my idea. Adiba kwa na SM kanwa ebi mirefi eni se nusu echire ni nti a ebia yesika no enya hone no eni se onim se na nsan ya Bank of Ghana cotton gold na gold sika no
mudu
ene wahi. No, like I said from the beginning, look, take the forex market. It's just like any other market. Goods market, even marriage market. It's just like any other market. It's all about demand and supply. And the problem has always been the supply side. So Bank of Ghana cotton gold na omenye sikapudo. If they dump the money on the economy, temporarily you would see some changes. What is here? And that could also explain why, we are getting these reliefs. But it comes at a cost. Say, instead of shoring up your reserves, to improve your net foreign reserves, what the abegu economy no mono? What is here?
Dumping effect.
What is here? And again, you could have also, kept the gold to still shore up your reserves, but we decided to say a beton. What on the
liquidity?
And if Fasikano Fakoka, your reserves no Yamfanya Yedibagana. At the end of the day, $1 say it's all about supply and demand. Once you have more supply,
forgive me, supply and demand and America say Trump and Sensemunti demand be so we are say akofo. Nti e hono mesra o de san ko hebium na obetima say we cannot discount global trends in terms of dollar.
No, if anything at all, the trade war has actually encouraged the demand for gold, which means the value still of gold has gone up. Until omukoton
and OPEC
they make more money.
So.
What's
OPEC or oil prices.
But really and truly, we share and receipts from oil. I told you, if you look at the petroleum funds, need the way I know, and Shaddam contribute. Ghana is a net importer anyway. What is here? Because you see a net importer, which means exporting Ghana, importing more. What is here? And the little you gain from exporting, who's had you talk oil nibi eba. And I think it cancels out somewhat. But having said so, Chief Justice Samsami, media. So almost on your TV so. No application. Have they determined the application?
How much are you massacre?
And
so much. And I make it.
How many your TV? So
not on TV.
Or you be in camera. Because that's what the law says, right?
Yes. So they'll do in camera.
Oh, okay. I think it's for some good reason. As I say, some be piano. What if after the process no proceedings no? Yes, no who song. That AB and Sema Nanka ye be fan who I bet no might even compromise her credibility as the Chief Justice. And for me, I think that it's for good reason. Say no in camera no, but whatever it is, we are testing the law. Me, I do not see this to be the president acting ultra vires. I am runner a man coin. Say obi the BB say bar. First, make a determination whether you are dear or per se or young wejuma. Then take it to the Council of State.
Presidential discretion.
Mm-hmm.
One president did not suspend. Another president has suspended. Discretion and America say, sad discretion or did man some Jeff Koyeno. Unjama Menoso.
Onjano says saying, only says it is out of his hands. Only is out to me. Now it's in the hands of the committee. Oh, you want him to influence the process? That will be illegal, will be unconstitutional. That's what you are insinuating.
It's a cacao.
No, and only to me.
So I think to call him
intermediate. Somebody decided to test the law. Yeah, in fact, this is not the first time a petition has been sent to a president regarding
pardons.
They are not jailing her. They are only seeking to sack her from her post. What is here? They are not jailing her.
They were seeking to sack Sami Jefi from his post too.
When?
In America. What's the matter?
How can you compare Sami Jefi to
America? And American say you pardon Sami Jefi.
No, because you didn't commit a crime. You was not. Code of ethics now. Yes, you are breaching.
Mamina committed crime.
Oh, she has offended. You see,
I think.
Mami can say.
What I'm supposed to say?
No, yeah, it's okay. I like the engagement is helpful. You see, Sami Jefi no. At least Niamatie and say he seemed to have offended the code of ethics. I launched 2 days prior.
Perception.
No, and if you read the code of ethics, there's a portion about restraint, humility, and all that. And Ebimufi say he has offended those portions of the code. And for which reason the sanctions regime in the code should be activated.
The spirit behind the code.
The demon or the spirit, you see, there's a problem.
Yeah.
What I say? But my media, you see, no, and your code of ethics, I am rapono. For which reason, so if the president were minded to pardon and do whatever you near okay, Anka on far assembly crown call Council of State. I go for the ready brand or not if you say we are Mugu or Bogu. What is here? But President Mama felt maybe there's some merit to it, but let the process be followed. So that at the end of the day, if a determination is made by the committee saying who's on there, then she goes back to work.
Okay.
But why is it that my problem is why is the MPP for Ebimu? Let me say it clearly and
judicial independence. Carry on.
I think I'm going to move on.
You see, judicial independence also requires that Yemfam running Yejuma. So far, is it out of the constitution? No. My issue is that why is that MPP Crawford already are concluding say my media be
could it also not be someone in BBI?
They do nothing. Are they the ones doing the process? Motivate, they are just like anyone. The only abemu BMO. But
saying this for no MPP, what much is that Kotokore has?
No, Debbie. Omunyina TV, you know, Omunyina Ziape. Are you saying, say, Yane Kosu and Akufado Namahamani? It's not possible. And Yanina, Ebia, Yombedi. Okay. I think but not on serious matters like this.
Wrap up.
What is here? I find it a bit difficult to understand. Say
genius.
Well, if you are choosing the word disingenuous, say MPP for BIM. Alpha didn't say as if they are the ones who are on trial. Say Muji, look, allow the process. If we are saying say we are operating by rule of law. The law says, BBC bad, this is Kwaya Isaiah Faso. Now, now you are seeking to obstruct the process that is, you can say, prescribed by the law. say oh omu nye biem na ne omu ye die so omu jai Muhammad should stop the process. At this point Muhammad Christ out of his hands. If he had any mercy to exercise Christ is here, he can't do it anymore.
Finally, media, we want a strong judiciary. And if there are perceptions about bias, and sometimes you see, justice must not only be served, but must also
be seen to have been done.
Until you appear in court and the demeanor of the judge is telling you, then the judgment is showing the demeanor no aligning. It will create a certain perception. What is here? But media, Mimpa say should survive. If she doesn't survive, it will become a lesson. It will not be a pleasant precedent. Nonetheless, it will be a precedent and will be a guide to future chiefs of staff. Hey, Chief Justices. Say, no, me wa yeah now atubo. What is here? Na Ura Akufado. I always say, the legacy need the negatives in the baby. But I would always say, he had an opportunity, if anything at all. Otiya, he had the opportunity to do this process. And I'm not sure you do faster process more. It is legally allowed for them to take you through the same process again. The more be on friend double jeopardy. Yeah. Say if you've been tried for something, if you were minded, but then you say, he's the Alpha and the Omega. There's no day. At some point, people in power think say, I mean sorry that.
But I also no trick a crab who say fresh petitions could have come up. Would you not be the same?
No.
And he could have undergone that same try again.
No.
With fresh petitions. No, the law is that the same case, you cannot bring the same case twice.
And
so say petition one that's a for the FASA system.
Look, you see,
different petitions will come.
No, petitioners are restricted by the law. Say there are two grounds on which you can petition: misconduct and incompetence.
So
if you are bringing, if somebody comes say, "Oh, I'm petitioning because she's misconducted herself,"
but the way
the particulars
can be different.
Anyway,
I
think Maminte Prof. Sapa, but before that,
at this point you are vulnerable. There's nothing you can do.
Oba Penny Nana Adjoa Ochrebia Suhum Ayekoche and Afewo Equiapim and Latehima. Enti Abigail actually said, "Yama happy birthday, Oba Penny Nana Adjoa Ochrebia Oye Suhum Ayekoche na Equiapim and Latehima Yankopon Inshra." And Mr. Harry Sechi, Holy Trinity Catholic Church was Apema also ne Ewa Wada Harry Sechi, the Don. Happy birthday to you, Harry Sechi. Prof, point.
Petition no, so I started. I say onumu represented petitioners no. Senior Chachuchi Kata Tadio sorry and lawyer Bakavomawo. The petitioners no. Oh. But I mean, these are very seasoned lawyers.
The petitioners could afford these lawyers.
Oh, Sandy. What if the lawyers are also doing it for them pro bono?
Well, it's also possible.
It's also possible.
Coloration be about petitioning.
Oh, Chachu is a seasoned lawyer.
And I'm saying, coloration be about petitioning.
But Thaddeus is non-aligned.
Yes,
at least to the best of my knowledge.
He's non-aligned. Representing speaker, no, very recent, but 10 years. But you see,
your choice of client, the choice of your client,
and also crack, but I mean,
third lawyer.
But dear me minimum, Ati, dear me any dear me matiti. So. Any ajuma minu I started free in Nooks days.
Yeah.
Dear Juju and tricks are man for any idea. As it stands now.
Oh, don't prejudge you, master.
As it stands now. Don't tear the mechano. As it stands now, it will be very, very, very difficult, if not impossible, to take politics.
Oh, obviously, this is a political decision.
And to the extent there.
No, to consider
prima facie or not was even a political decision.
It was a political decision. And whatever is happening, yes, law no, but obi politics.
The law is the law.
The law is the law.
The law is.
But politics is politics.
Yeah. The
And
cardinal.
yeah.
And you know, whatever is happening now, for me, it is about 90% politics, 10% law.
Yeah. The cardinal, in fact, that has been my position. Me can first day, NDC ni penny back when I'm in the platform, so say I am denting my supposed neutrality, and I'm speaking like an MPP person. I took exception because Sebe inti party be a magana yefreno NPP osuna inti professor ni adwin bi a obechere on this subject matter ho ana. And now me point in say politicians no the way our umadan angels are come of something yet to happen. Do you get it? Ocha come ni with energy, with government we nyame ya adom to many be show them na situations that say unfold you can't take yourself out.
As a Japa book no.
And the book
No, the Japa book actually spoke to a lot of the things under the Agufado.
But is there a book like that in existence?
Whatever it is, they came to pass.
Okay.
It's your preemptive.
So you see, into political interest in the there a womb. A bemu not because the process is illegal, but a bemu because enyam 2025 na meetings and comments and
campaign platforms.
Yes. If you fear na unfold na ka say we yemra then please spare us that. Yemra but me ne cardinal be adwin say emra na ewomu no just about just about no I think I agree. I agree. Now him says see no NDC for no atoni down kakra in their support for the petitioners.
No, I won't tone it down.
No, they are strategically keeping quiet.
Okay. Prof. Sabon, I won't tone it down. You have things going your way. Why do you
talk? But okay, if you don't talk when there's food in your mouth. But if he has here no, that's an article he can say MPP 4 were on the side of the Chief Justice no. Not clearly NDC 4 were also on the side of the petitioners.
Yeah.
Politics. And tell them they try and one koba mo say maybe emfa politics when they yemra. Tell me one law that has been flouted and I say mrabe tell me wrong. Why do you ask me that? Yes, who did running in aso, but there's always a thin line between legality and the truth. Like there's your truth and my truth, legality and morality. Let the process continue. Nanayao, maybe any objection to what is going on. Mameno, she is capable of defending herself.
Who's representing her?
Over the
not that I know for now.
Over the charges her petitioners in their bond or the capacity after all or
to represent herself.
Yeah, to represent herself or a defendant of defendant Chief Justice.
Defend himself, but he had a lawyer.
Still of a lawyer. I want to be named Sebia or Befebia then so yeah. Media, I don't doubt her ability to respond to the petition and issues before the committee. Onko no onko.
I said we need lawyer.
Sekobase.
Sir,
I don't know yet. Sekobase odi ni huson wo committee na se a omrame na juma open so a he can resign for somebody. You see, going and coming there. Sebe enye petition kura na ebe fa so there in everywhere and can definitely nko nchin bo. I don't even see the comes around going and coming. O for so be yi ni hye ho nkomba na be fa so yi na sebe wan hye ho nkoma me yi ni kura nko be ko dada. It's only that if they are not sano and na no age pa government travel government say Georgina Wood Madam Georgina Wood the end be near but ni nyina ye a way by which obi ba na obi nso akọ onko defending no ma ne ha no ne ho so a omra me na adwuma say ne ho so no so ka so adwuma no kro onye bi okra no obi mra meto aso a say ne ho so ansane na committee ni ka so I think it's one of these rhapsodies of life.
Mate.
Fancy
I say, but
yeah.
But me, I think only my dear meher. So we processes ni nyina de ombe kan be wie ni ade ni nyina be si no. Me pese me hu de omo gina so omo de take decision omo de take no.
You're trying.
Share abstract of the report. I'm not sure they will
we
share
are
the
not
full.
interested in abstract. As I say,
As a full report.
as I say, now when full result, I better in abstract. So I can. Who abstract FFF so over discussion never be anyhow. Who be that? But politics. Anyway, Nana Dubois, or Office of the Head of Civil Service Ministries. Sir, Bibi Ohosa. Head of Civil Service Ministries. Maintain that. Anyway, whatever it is, Nana Edu Boahen. Yama happy birthday. And afi Victoria Antobam, Mother and Child Hospital at Kasoa, member of medical team, our GWPMI, Glorious Power, Glorious Word Power Ministry International. Okay, all right. Victoria Antobam, Mother and Child Hospital Kasoa, member of the medical team of Glorious Word Power Ministry International. Happy birthday. And Jennifer Quarting or United Kingdom and eye wawoda ukunu dofo Ben and unuaba Ohima Abrefi or sister-in-law Hima Abrefi say happy birthday. Afi Daniel yatafro wire ferry. Daniel yatafro wire ferry uo suhum. So odofo bi say oma happy birthday Yakopon enka ho na bibia enye kama ena afei so ene Professor Joseph Osafo na yere dofo Mrs. Mavis Osafo enya emfi aduonum enti Mrs. Mavis Osafo happy birthday ena amasapon kuma say yenkai obia so a otie se aristocrats mo health work no baso na mo be hye ase wo ayimensa tobuto na mo wie wo peduase aristocrats or say mo health work no baso nyame ya domo a 24th May and mo health work no so baso nti aristocrats and so mo nhye so emfa emaye na bibia be kama ebusia ena ene anopay yedemu AC Efrem Nana ya okay so between from the cardinal metremu Ghana's morning voice chairman general Kwame Sefakai now twin so Dr. Father Dixon Kennedy Asante o say so for Kuja Asante 7 bar for Peter Square Isaac Opoko Pretty Joyce Dominic Nyanyovo Nana Pepra Odia Henkan Kwame Yeboa na poso himadwa Yeboa J Nana ya konedu ohene na Kwame amo ohene wa kese boa he maami bia makwafo una mhyehyeye na eja medi ho chiame the radiasum dweja obia unya kwan etie yen ene anopai mede radiasum dwe na ejamo nyame enhyira obia